And I now call this regular meeting of the Wetaskiwin Regional School Board to order at 11:11. We'll begin with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional meeting ground, gathering place, and traveling route to the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, Nakota Sioux, and Anishinaabe. We acknowledge all the many Indigenous nations, Métis and Inuit, whose footsteps have marked these lands for time immemorial. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past. And we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. The next item on our agenda is consideration of the agenda. Are there any changes or additions? Yes.
I forgot I received an email from Dawn Sanders. She works with RDP and she would like to arrange a visit. Either she comes here or students go there for high school. They have a 2-year visual arts diploma and a 2-year university transfer BFA program, and they would like to just coordinate.
Excellent. And you got that request through email?
Email, yes.
Do you want to forward that on to, can she forward it?
Yeah, and we can add it as a, we can talk about it add it right now to a new business item, Chair Dorchester,
Okay.
or we can bring it forward at a future meeting.
Maybe if you forward it to Superintendent Wake, we'll bring it forward to a future meeting.
Yeah.
And would that work for you, Trustee Potts? Perfect. All right. So approval of the agenda. May I have a motion that the agenda for February 4th, 2026 regular board meeting be approved as presented? Trustee Johnson, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Trustee Norton. All in favor? Motion is carried. Next up, approval of the minutes from January 21st, 2026 regular board meeting. Are there any errors, omissions, or corrections to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion that the minutes of the January 21st, 2026 regular board meeting be approved as presented? Thank you, Trustee Reich. Seconder, Trustee Ware, thank you. All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Moving on, I believe we're going to go to committee reports. I'll now call on Trustee Johnson to present the governance committee report from January 21st.
Yeah, on January 21st, we met in the afternoon. The minutes of the previous meeting were reviewed. We went through the terms of reference. We went through AP 164, smudging and pipe ceremonies in schools. We talked about draft policy 25, recognition, respect, and support for students' ways of life. We had a discussion about that, and we'll continue to work on that policy probably when we meet with Jordan, eh?
Yeah, I think, Chair Dorchester, there was a conversation that the way of life policy was that it was brought forward with the creation of a policy 25. But I think the conversation was that, you know what, we maybe just sit on it right now. There wasn't a need. We felt that our current APs, the Education Act and so forth supported what we're trying to do, ensure that we're celebrating diversity, we're inclusive in our practices, and that students have voice and opportunity when required.
Yes, you betcha.
Okay. We talked about the kindergarten and the survey that was sent out to parents. And adjournment took place at 2:05. I make a motion that the minutes of the governance committee meeting held on January 21st be accepted as presented.
Great, thank you, Trustee Johnson. Do I have a seconder? Trustee Wright, thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, The motion on the floor is minutes of the governance committee meeting held on January 21st, 2026 be approved as presented. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, moving on. I will now call on Trustee Morton to present the ASPA Zone 4 highlight her report.
Okay, you can see that they were very busy December, January, which I think is normal for them. Something that stood out for me was the ASPA priorities, which they listed 3 of them and would like, to move forward. So if you ever have any ideas, spit them out. The first is learning opportunities. So their general meetings, the website, the lunch and learns, the meeting with the Minister of Education, that sort of thing. Elevating the ASBA and the member boards, raising awareness, using social media, engaging with local constituencies, and should there be a bigger news presence, just different ideas that they threw out. And of course, for advocacy, the discussion was, should ASPA take a bigger role in the public or continue supporting the member boards? And then our World Cafe, we kind of came up with the top 3 of the Zone 4. I think everybody was very similar. It's the rural school funding, the cross-ministry collaboration and the base funding. And then the last thing to note was the Edwin Parr deadline is for March 18th. So.
Thank you, Trustee Morton. Next up, I will call on Trustee Heikert to present her report on the Council of School Councils.
So we had our engagement January 28th, and I want to thank everybody for hanging in there because it was long. It was an hour and 45 minutes, but we had a lot of great things to go through. We had Assistant Superintendent Christian Holby present to us on the continuum of supports and to better inform parents on the many different moving pieces we have in WRPS to support our very diverse population of students and their needs. We had his presentation cover things like the success coaches, the FSLWs, and the many ways that they support our students. We also discussed the ASCE, the Alberta School Council Engagement Grant, which is a little bit complex to try and find as a school board or a school council how you want to utilize those dollars. We gave a few ideas on things they could do, as well as providing the information on where they can access the do's and the don'ts, the approves and the not approves. Hopefully every school council will take their time, figure out what is special to them and important to them at their school, and find something that speaks to them, because we all know Alder Flats may not have the same priorities as Clear Vista, and you can utilize it for different things. We discussed the full day kindergarten and how the survey was out. Mr. Wake, Superintendent Wake, supplied us with the brochure and gave some information on that, and also on HOPRA. So that sounds really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that becoming like fully accessible to everybody for next year. We had the school council representative reports, which is one of my very favorite things. Learning about what people in their school communities value, what they find important, and what they're working on. The big one coming up is the West of the Fifth. Is it still called West of the Fifth? The Pigeon Lake Poker Rally?
There you go.
Yeah, on February 21st. And they challenged us trustees to work a table. So I won't put you on the spot now, but after this meeting's adjourned, I've spoken to a few of you already. And if we can get a group to go out there, I think it's great for team bonding, right?
What's the date?
February the 21st is a Saturday. And I haven't gotten all the details for exactly what time we need to arrive and finish, but if I can.
Where is this table supposed to be?
I'm assuming it's on the ice.
Yeah, I know, but
On the lake.
is it all on the lake?
Well, there's, like for volunteers for that event, there's stops around the lake.
Yeah,
But there's also required volunteers within the hall in the beginning because they sell their 50/50, their raffle, all the registration, the poker hands, all that is done within the hall. So
at where?
Mamio,
At Mamio?
yeah, at the big hall.
Okay,
in
well,
Mamio.
so is there like a stop at Mamio and a stop at Mulhurst and a stop at
Sort
Crystal
of, yeah,
Springs?
like,
So, I mean, that's my question, I guess, is where would we be around the
Like,
lake?
where would we be stationed? I don't think they have us at a particular spot. It was just, they wanted to know if we'd be willing to. So if I have more than 2 people, like myself and another,
Yeah,
then I'll reply to them and ask, where do we need to be? What do we need to bring? What do we
Time,
need?
yeah.
What do we need to carry with us? Do we pack a picnic? Do we pack lawn chairs? You know,
Blankets.
that
Put us
that-
in the hall before,
kind
like,
of stuff.
that's where I've been asked to, is selling tickets.
is selling tickets.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll ask them if they have a better,
yeah.
wherever they
I
want
know.
us, we have a group of X amount of people.
That's about.
I'm not gonna put everybody on the spot right now, but
Oh, okay,
I think
sure.
there's interest for volunteers, so you could
Yeah.
probably just let them know that. Yeah.
So.
Cool.
I know some people were busy, but anyways. And then our next meeting is scheduled for May the 27th. And I believe we're going to try and talk about WRPS AERR, and maybe a couple other things. So,
Great, excellent, thank you, trustee Eichert. Next up for reports, the Yellowhead Regional Library, I believe trustee Potts will be giving that report.
Yes, trustee Lethbridge prepared the report. I'll just be reading, but we did both attend. So on January 26th, trustee Lethbridge and myself attended the YRL orientation for board reps and alternates in Spruce Grove at Yellowhead Regional Library location. It was very informative morning with lots of information about the different library boards and the history of YRL. YRL was created in 1971 to support libraries in rural areas. In Alberta, there are 220 library boards, 327 library service points. 92% of municipalities provide access to library services, and 99.8% of Alberta's population has access to these library services. YRL services 54 municipalities and 3 school divisions in their area. There are 7 main library systems in Alberta, with the city of Edmonton and Calgary are their own system. All the rural systems collaborate to share cost of development, e-content, work closely with colleges and universities. 4 regional library systems share collections that are managed by YRL. In 2025, YRL moved 1.9 million pieces of books or AV materials, which was quite astonishing for me. And they have quite a system set up there. It's really impressive. In 2026, that number is expected to grow over the 2 million piece mark. Over the past year, YRL has weeded several of the library collections for WRPS, removing and inventorying our collections in the school division libraries. YRL is currently working on AI policies, as they feel that is a big challenge for them, our municipalities and our schools in the future. They are also seeing a shortage of librarians and library techs entering the workforce. YRL is also feeling that they're experiencing government overreach with the current government managing collections and removing books from collections. This is an advocacy point for them to reach our MLAs. We also heard a video from Margaret Atwood on on her position. Trustee Lethbridge is quite excited to be a part of the board. When she was growing up, the yellow van from YRL showed up at school, and she knew it was going to be a fun education week at the school. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Potts. Okay, so moving on to board chair report, I just have a few items. We've had a pretty busy couple weeks. We've done various facility tours. We did within the city of Wetaskiwin, and I believe even today we were planning on going out to Pipestone. In addition, I'll be attending a board chair ministerial engagement session in Calgary. Looking forward to hearing remarks from Minister Nicolaides and Minister Wilson on the day. In addition, prior to that, we'll be having a board chair, Zone 4 board chair meeting. So also looking forward to connect with some of our colleagues there. Something I just wanted to personally recognize and thank Mrs. Tammy Southern, who's the high school curling coach at PLRS. Now, Tammy has been at it for 20 years. She's been a coach. She's been coaching curling in the Lakedale area, drawing from kids from all across the school division for 20 years at least. And she volunteers her time twice a week. She does a Wednesday for the littles and a Thursday for the olders. So basically it's 4 hours a week, 5 months a year, 20 years, that time adds up, and that type of consistency and dedication makes a real difference for students. Just a shout out to, over the last couple of years, PLRS Pigeon Lake has returned to high school playdowns for curling, and her commitment is clearly paying off. Last year, our mixed team advanced through areas into zones. This year, we had a men's team and a ladies team. The men's team fell one game short of making it 2 zones, but the ladies team placed second out of 6 teams. They did really well. They had a chance to place first. It was a really close game, and I truly believe they have a legitimate opportunity to move on to provincials. I imagine that it must be especially meaningful for Mrs. Southern to see her students that she's coached from such a young age experiencing success. Volunteer coaches and coaches in general, like Mrs. Southern, make it possible for many of our students to experience competition, teamwork, and community. And those are experiences that will stay with them well beyond the curling season, I believe. So thank you. That concludes my report. And now we'll move on to Superintendent Wake's report.
Thank you, Chair Dorchester. So a few good news items, and first and foremost, Clear Vista. And we know that a lot of our schools give back to the community, and in particular, I just want to highlight Clear Vista over the last couple of weeks here. Is just a big congratulations for their fundraising efforts in support of the Stollery Children's Hospital. So they just recently had a wake-a-thon. No, it's not named after me, but they had a wake-a-thon held on Friday, January 23rd, where students stayed up all night, including staff, which once again, Chair Dorchester, I think it's always a great reminder to thank our staff, right, and for the great work. But they raised over $6,000, and then combined with the Jingle Day project, and from their farmers market of $389, Clear Vista is donating a grand total of $7,698.92. So that's just amazing to see the youth giving back to the community. Speaking about youth giving back to the community, but also causing excitement in the community this past week, obviously, I did see trustees in attendance there and abouts everywhere. But recently we just had the basketball programming jamboree, and we did it at the city on January 29th, and on January 30th we were out west, and it was just fantastic to see the smiling faces. Big thanks to parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and caregivers for coming out and supporting, helping with feeding as well, and so forth. But it was also it was very heartwarming to see the older kids take a leadership role in officiating and helping orchestrate the day. So just a big, great news item there. Also another good news item, once again, just a reminder that this coming Thursday and Friday is teacher convention, so our schools aren't in session. But in partnership with Hope Mission on Thursday, we are doing a meal at Queenie, and then in discussion with Hope Mission and some school leaders, we, on the Friday, the 6th, we're gonna be offering the meal at Parkdale. So instead of being at Queenie both days, we're doing Queenie on Thursday and Parkdale on Friday, just to try and get out to as much of the community as we can for those that are wanting to grab a meal on that piece. So I have a couple items for information. First and foremost, in the package is an interest in joining WRPS, just to let the community know, but as the board, as you're aware, we are going to be taking out ads in the local papers, just advertising, putting WRPS on display. Our dates are attached there and so forth. If trustees want to pop in on those days to support, there's no speaking requirements, but just want to go and get a sense of what's going on in your schools. And I know most of you are very connected in the schools with recent tours and involvement in school councils and so forth. But there's gonna be reader boards out in the community, and we've done some brochures on what WRPS has to offer. And, you know, the schools in our division do an amazing job of meeting each of the students and the community as a whole. And so we just really want to brag about that and celebrate that. So another other item for information is the Teacher Advisory Council. So this was correspondence sent from the minister's office and was asked to send directly to the staff. So I've shared this out with the principals already. I know Chair Dorchester, you received a copy of this correspondence as well. And they're just seeking 15 certified staff to put their names forward in forming a teacher advisory council. And I think it's just to provide sort of a context of what teaching and learning is in this time and day. So I know there's other task forces and other councils out there right now, but I do feel this is important. I hope they get lots of names. I hope some people from WRPS put their name forward for consideration, because I think it's very important that, you know, sometimes when you see some of these task force or these focus groups focused or created, you see some of the city urban representation, but this is a great opportunity to have rural Alberta represented in that piece as well. And
Mike, can
that's
I
it.
ask a question?
Yeah.
So if somebody from our division submits
They're interested.
application, do we provide them with the time off that they need to be in attendance at?
Yeah, we would navigate that. So the way I'm looking at where I'm perceiving this, because this was just a recent discussion, it was like they'll come out if in fact there was time required during the school day and release time was required, for sure that would be provided and we'd probably get reimbursed from the government. This could be also a committee that meets outside of your typical school day. So, but yeah, there's no.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it for my report, Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is upcoming events. So we have an education committee meeting next Wednesday, February 11th at 9 a.m. We have a committee of the whole regular board meeting, governance committee meeting, February 18th at 11 a.m. In addition, I'm sure we have lots of school council meetings and committee meetings in the meantime. And the final item on our agenda is if there's no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Trustee Heikert, seconder. Thank you, Trustee Reich. All in favor? Motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned at 11:34 a.m. Thank you, everyone.